Oh, they got leashes.
I remember with the horse one, wagon days, they had a scoop. Good.
Yeah, for them.
Yeah, they'll probably have to have street sweepers here because they just make a mess.
They're so quiet.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't, it's not that bad. I feel like cows.
A couple's got a bell in there.
That one's had kids. Uh-oh, traffic jam.
I don't want to be last.
They're all William.
Look at that one's jumping. Look at that.
I know. I'm looking right. Oh, they're having a fight. Yes, they are. Yeah. You thought before I had piles around me? Now I have piles on top of boxes. Stands on top of boxes that hopefully won't tip over in the middle of this. It's a little chaotic, to be expected, but it was time to do a video. You can see I'm getting there. I have portions of this room pretty much set up the way I want. A long way to go for other things. I need to get a chair and tables and something to record, set my gear on when I do these recordings, because literally you are on top of a box, a bin, and a crate. So let's hope the whole thing doesn't go tumbling as I reach for different things, because I'm also surrounded by piles on the floor and on other bins. Yeah. Anyway, we're getting there. Let's see, the videos at the beginning were from the Trailing of the Sheep Festival over to the west of us in Ketchum, Idaho. And then you can see I'm still wearing a tank top because I get so hot. Even though it's cool down here in the basement, I get so hot getting ready for these. So yeah, Ketchum, Idaho, Trailing of the Sheep, gorgeous, gorgeous weather for that. It was raining the day we drove out, which was Friday. It was snowing when we drove back on Monday, but Saturday and Sunday were absolutely gorgeous. The leaves up in the mountains were gorgeous. After Saturday was the Folklife Festival in Haley, which is just a little bit south of Ketchum, up in the mountains of central Idaho. On Sunday was the actual Trailing of the Sheep down Main Street of Ketchum. It was awesome. And then after that, it ended at like, I don't know, 12:30, 1 o'clock. We went to a grocery store and got some, just some odds and ends for a light lunch. And then we drove further north up into the Sawtooth Mountains to the overlook of the Sawtooths. Snow up on the mountains. As you saw in the pictures, just stunning, stunning area. We will be exploring more. That was just, a day trip up there, not even a day. It was just an hour, up and stopping at different places along the way to see the beauty. So lots. Oh my goodness, this is such an amazing state. I don't know how much more we're going to get out now that the winter is coming. It's certainly going to be a gorgeous day today. It's blue skies. We still have yellow leaves and red leaves on the bushes and trees back here in the backyard. I will be getting out to do some more yard work this afternoon. It's going up to 64, which probably means that the temperatures are now going to plummet and we'll be getting snow, but that's okay. Anyways, I don't know how much we're going to still be getting out on the weekends. We are going to be painting upstairs, so our weekends are going to be spent doing that. I'm not going to be hanging anything on the walls up there until, of course, all the painting is done. I will be getting stuff hung up down here. I'm just not quite there yet. I will do a video at the end, kind of a walking tour of the organization I've done so far in this room. I haven't even started on the knitting room yet, so nothing to see there. But I'll put that video on the end for those of you who are interested in sticking around for that. But for now, stitching. I have so much news to share with you. First and foremost, let me say, I am excited to announce that I have been picked up by ICG. ICG is Independent Creatives Group, if I'm remembering that correctly. They are a print-on-demand company for designers across different creative fields. And so what that means is they are kind of the go-between for those designers like me that only work in PDFs and the local stores, the LNSs. So if you are interested in a paper pattern and you want your store to carry my patterns, you can go to them and say, hey, she's now on ICG. You can order wholesale through them. So they're print on demand. And I would love it if you would go to your local stores and ask them to start carrying my patterns. That would be awesome. In addition, ICG either works with or they're all part of the same company. I'm not totally sure on that. But anyways, they do work with Everything Cross Stitch. So when I upload my PDFs to ICG, they also get sent over to Everything Cross Stitch. So you can now order my paper patterns on Everything Cross Stitch. And I will have all of that linked. I have in my my video description box, my website, my Etsy shop, my all my social media channels. I will be adding, I actually have already added, the links to my shop, to my patterns on Everything Cross Stitch. So if you're interested in getting paper patterns, that's where you will find those. I'm so excited. That just, it's something I've had in the back of my mind for a while. And with everything that was going on with the move, I just didn't want to have to deal with that yet, because it took 2 days to load all my PDFs onto. I had to modify each PDF to make it compatible with printing, basically, so it's not so long for printing. So it took 2 days to do that, and of course I didn't want to get into all of that while we were in transition. So that happened. That is done. I'm just so thrilled. Let's see. New patterns. New patterns, you say? Oh, well, yes, I do have new patterns. I'm going to start with a smaller one first. Season of the Harvest. So this is my next, for those of you that have been around for a while, this is my next pattern for Fat Quarter Shop to create a floss pack for, and actually I meant to go and see if the floss pack was up. I know the pattern is up. I was going to check this morning to see if the floss pack was up, and I totally forgot because I was busy getting something else loaded, which most of you know about by now, I'm sure. But anyway, Season of the Harvest. This is NPI silk. Hopefully, Fat Quarter Shop will have the silk floss pack. It uses 9 colors. I love it. It's such a sweet little pattern, if I do say so myself. Bees, harvest. I was thinking harvest, and everything. We're past the bloom stage. We're past the growing stage. All of the trees are ripe for harvest. They have fully fleshed out fruits. There's just everything. The birds and the bees are enjoying the bounty, and so are we. Season of the Harvest, though, I asked this question when I first posted this on Instagram, and I don't think anybody answered correctly. Maybe one person did. I got the inspiration for the name from one of Mike's books. He wrote a book called Season of the Harvest, and it's actually his first book. It's a series, it's a trilogy actually, but the first book in the trilogy is Season of the Harvest. That's the first book of his that took off and really made him think that he could do this author thing. Season of the Harvest has nothing to do with harvesting as far as this sense is concerned. It is a sci-fi thriller. It involves aliens. It involves GMO. It involves things going badly wrong with GMO products, or GMO, products. So, yeah. But anyways, I decided to steal the name and use it for this. So Season of the Harvest, it is up on my web store, my Etsy shop, Fat Quarter Shop, silk, and now everything cross stitch as well. So thrilled with that. It is stitched on, what did I stitch that on, by the way? 40 count, I believe, gray by Weeks Dye Works. And as I said, it is NPI silks. There is also a DMC conversion in the pattern. Okay, before I go to my next new design, let me segue into that by showing you my framed pieces that I picked up here August 13th. I did show them on Instagram, but I wanted to show them off here as well. So these are the 3 that I took to the framer here right after we got here. They were ready for pickup October 13th. This is Star Center Quilt by Jeanette Douglas, and it is just a stunning, stunning design. I did use the called for, I bought the silk floss pack and used that. It is on, I believe, 36 count linen by Vicki Clayton. This is one of her hand-dyed linens that she was selling for a while. So yeah, this is all the called for. I don't remember the names of any of them. I believe I gave my copy of Star Center Quilt away, actually, so I do not have it to refer to. So if you're interested in the name colors of some of the flosses, I'm afraid I don't know them anymore. But anyway, so that one is a stunner. Jeanette's patterns are just so gorgeous. I feel like I should be having a Jeanette Douglas pattern going all the time, and I have plans. Okay, next is Flora Graphica. This is, of course, my own design. I mean, the framing on all of these couldn't be more perfect. I am in love with all of them. I did get museum glass on all of them, so there actually isn't that much of a glare. In fact, in some lighting, you can barely even tell that you can't tell that there's glass, actually. So this is stitched with overdyed cotton flosses on, I believe, this was either 36 or I think it was 40 count old linen by XJU Design. Vicki Clayton also has a silk pack for this as well. So Florographica. And then last but not least, and this is where the segue is concerned into my next design, sewing box sampler. So this one, the sampler itself had been hem stitched, so they couldn't wrap it to frame it. So I just used an acid-free board that had linen on it, that had a linen cover, and they just stitched it down, tacked it down in places. So this is the antique. Again, the framing job is spectacular. There are spacers, of course, in all of these to keep the glass off of the stitching itself. My antiques will be hanging in a place as recommended by Carrie at the museum where there is no lighting coming in. So that is the antique. I can't remember. I think I did show you the completed one, right? Right? Yeah, I'm sure I did in my video up at the RV park. Anyways, here it is again. The completed, stitched reproduction adaptation. I wanted to go, I don't think I went into all the details. I don't remember, guys. If I'm repeating myself, please forgive me. So it is an adaptation rather than a reproduction because it's not exactly the same. Something just slid down off of a thing over there. I'll show you in a second. Anyways, it's not an exact reproduction. This sampler was unfinished, and so I filled in the spaces that weren't finished, namely this floral band. She had started some kind of something over here. I couldn't really tell in the original. The flowers weren't very distinct, and I don't think even they were finished. You can see that there. So I found a floral design that seemed to kind of echo what she was doing. The other ways it's not exact is the Bargello band up here. The count of the fabric the original stitcher used was, I counted it, it was somewhere up around like 56 by 63. It was not an even weave, and it was so high in count. I believe she had trouble counting it because the start of this Bargello band, and actually several places along it, were just off. It wasn't, you know, you want this to be the same across, right? And she just had errors through it, and I couldn't hang with those errors. I had to fix it. So because I did fix the count in several places up here, it made the bottom band different. It ended in a different place than it does on the original. So yeah, there's little things like that I did change that are different from the original. But there's also some things that I didn't change. Let me see if I can find it. So if you can see the E right here, is that the E? It's hard to see the pail on the pail. The E is coming down right on, you know, it's touching the line of the border, and the rest of these stitches, the rest of the letters are not. I left that in. I added a border here. There wasn't one, but I didn't add one here. I left that space blank. The other thing I kind of liked about the original with the stains is how it actually changed the color. Actually, I added a border in there too. It changed the color of the ecru. So I am pretty sure that all of the ecru that I have was originally ecru here. So the ecru and the Florentine, the ecru in here, the ecru and all this alphabet and through the other pieces of the border. But over time, it has faded, it has gotten dirty. Remember, this was found in a sewing box. It was rolled up in a sewing box. It was not in a frame behind glass or anything like that. So it did get dirty, it did get smudged. It looks like something spilled on it. I actually liked kind of the depth and the character that the fading gave the letters. And so I did want to mimic that in my coloring. So even though a lot of the ecru, you know, I am using it all through here, down in these letters, I changed the colors to mimic that staining, and through here to mimic the staining. I did leave this part of the alphabet in red, which is what the original stitcher used. So, and then this portion down here was all empty. And the wonderful Jan Holder suggested to me that I fill that in with the words from the sewing box of. So I did from the sewing box of, and I just used the alphabet up here. And then the date. You could leave that blank if you wanted. You can use the exact same thing and put your name in. If your name's longer than mine, you might want to use the smaller alphabet. So yeah. Sewing box sampler is now available on my web store, on my Etsy store. I sent it to Fat Quarter Shop this morning, so it will be up on there. I uploaded it to ICG this morning, so hopefully, possibly by the end of the day today, if not, then by the end of the day Monday, it will be available for purchase as a paper pattern on Everything Cross Stitch. I am not sure if it's going to work for silk. I sent the PDF to the people that work silk, that upload the things. And the thing with this pattern, where that Florentine band is, that Florentine stitch band, I've actually left that blank and just have done a black border around it just to show placement. The Silk app uses a picture of the chart to convert it into their app. Since that place, so I left that blank. It's just a black border on the main chart. And then I have a separate page in the PDF explaining how to do that stitch, and just graphed out rather large, just one repeat of the stitch, so that, because once you have one repeat down, it's just repeated the same over, over and over again the whole way down the side of the border. But I don't have it actually on the chart. So anyways, I'm not sure if it's going to be able to be put into silk. So that was kind of a choppy explanation. I know, I'm sorry about that. I will let you know on that. I also made a video, a tutorial showing how to do the Florentine stitch. That is also up on my channel. And Vicki Clayton, Hand Dyed Fibers, has put together a silk pack for the sampler. And that is available on her website, and I will be linking that below as well. Vicki has worked out, she has 2 versions of the silk pack available. Basically, if you're going to be stitching it on a larger count of fabric, like 14 count, 28, well, you're not going to do this on Aida. You have to be doing this on an even weave. So 28 count, where you're using 2 strands, she will have a silk pack available for that. And then, let me back up. I think the way she explained it is she's going to have the main silk pack available for the higher counts of fabric. And for most of the higher counts, or most of the colors, you will just need 1 spool of each color, except the ecru, you need 2 spools. So that's like the main pack. And then if you're doing it on a lower count, like a 28 count, where you're going to need more floss, she has add-ons that you can add on. And she has all that listed on her website. So anyways, that will be linked below as well. Whew. That took almost as long to explain as it did to work out the PDF and upload. No, it didn't. It took a long time to get that PDF figured out. All right, so I have another finish. I know it's been a while since I've talked to you. It's been very busy, but I have been stitching and I have been knitting, and I'm thrilled about that. I have another finish for my sheep wall. This is Henry and Louise from, or Louise and Henry, one of those, from Little House Needleworks. This is the stitch that went with me to the Trailing of the Sheep Festival. It was a 3-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive over, 3-hour drive back because we were driving in snow. And then from where the RV park was that we were staying at, just north of Twin Falls, up to both Haley and Ketchum. Haley was like an hour drive. Ketchum was an hour and a bit more. So lots of time in the car to stitch. I actually knit on the trips. So I know what I just said. Oh my God, people, I am a mess. I knit on the drives, but this was the stitching I took with me. So this is what I worked on in the evenings. And I got him finished. Actually, he came home with me too, unfinished. And got a lot of stitching done on him. That sheep did take a long time. But this is Louise and Henry. It's not, I haven't even had a chance to iron it yet. But I will get that done and get it framed, and it will go up on my sheep wall in the other room. So that's the other finish. So let's see, where should I go next? Over here. Okay. Hoity-toity. So I had mentioned the last time that I had done the calculations for this and knew that I couldn't get it done if I just continued to work on it on Sundays. So now it has become my every evening. I need to get at least 200 stitches done, plus at least 500 on the weekends in order to get it done by the end of the year. And I am on track to do that. I am at like 69.5% done. That border in there is pretty much done. There's I think maybe 1 or 2 little pieces of colors that I have to still fill in on that border. So I've started to move down and get, or that row, that whatever you call that thing in there, because this is the border. Words are not my friends today, people. So anyways, I'm starting to work on the dark blue border again, the outside border. And I have this side completed, and as you can see, I have turned the corner. Last night, I picked it up and started to work down on this side. So it is coming along. I usually get, if I work on it a couple hours in the evening, I usually get 200 plus stitches in. And then, like I said, on the weekends, I need to get at least 500, which I'm pretty sure I'll do. So that will put me at finishing it the last week of December. But hey, that's still 2021, right? And I am determined that nothing is going to sway me from that path. The other things I am working on, though, that are my hour a day, I will wait on you. Let me do this one first. Yes, it talked to me. That was my knitting that just talked to me. I started this one. I think we were still in Hawaii. I don't think we were even thinking of moving yet when I started this one, because this was for my recliner in Hawaii. This is Beth Twist Heartstring Samplery, A Thankful Life Chair Arm Pin Keep. And as I was going through all of my things, I came across this again and went, yes, I'm going to get that finished and use it on my arm of my chair. So I have been working on it. This is an hour a night. I had, when I picked it up, I had the basket and the flowers pretty much done. So since then, and that bottom border pretty much done. So since then, I got the little squirrel done. I still have to fill him in. I got the bird done. I got the 20 done. I have to do 21. And then my initials have to go here. You can see this is that side. The hardest thing about this is the counting. Because, okay, so this, you know, it's kind of upside, this section is upside down on the chart because she charted this section right side up. And it flips over so that when you have it over the arm of your chair, either side is right side up, if that makes sense. But the counting means, so in between this stitching and this stitching, there's this chunk of fabric that is the pin keep. Little pocket there for scissors. I love this. So I'm gonna have to be very careful in my counting to make sure that I count far down and down far enough to start this stitching here. But yeah, so I don't remember what fabric this is. It is kind of a rustic, it's I think a 32 count, kind of a rustic pink. I am using some of the called for that I had and some that I didn't have. I just found something else in my stash. So that will hopefully get done before the end of the year as well. All right, we will go to knitting. There's something else. Oh, I left it back there. I'll have to turn around and get it. Okay, knitting. I have been continuing strong. Like I said, this was my car projects for all the driving out west and back. This is the Wilson Ruana by my friend Kat. I am so close to being finished. This is such a gorgeous lace. Look at that lace. Isn't that beautiful? And I have a room that I can block things in now. Ooh, I have another show I have to block, don't I? So I have 12 more rows of the lace pattern to finish. And then I think it was 6 rows of like a border, just garter stitch or something. And then I'm done, bind off and done. So that will be done, I expect, in the next week. I usually get 2 to 4 rows done a night. The rows are taking me about 10 minutes. So 2 to 4 rows done a night. I'm only working on that about a half hour. So yeah, I will be done with that by next week, I think. And then I have to block it. The other thing I wanted to show you. I finished designing and have started the stitching of my Seasons in Lace autumn design. There's not a whole lot to show here yet. I'm not going to even worry about what that is, but I wanted to show you the colors that I picked. So again, this is the MPI Silk. This is a mixture of the Raw Sienna color range and Creamy Yellow, both of which came in the fine floss silk packs from Fat Quarter Shop. So I went with kind of the browns into golds for the autumn palette. I am on track to get that done by the end of November. So get it stitched and in the shop, which is end of November is what I was going for. I got a project bag at the Trailing of the Sheep Folklife Festival. This was in a booth with quilting, and this was actually labeled as a tablet bag. She had several of them. It has like a pocket out here, and then inside, of course, with the zipper. The maker wasn't one of the people in the booth, but I told the people running the booth that they needed to let her know that she needed to get into the cross-stitch project bag making business, because it's a lovely bag. Okay, so there is that. That is all that I've been currently working on, along with unpacking and organizing and all that fun stuff. Next, we're heading into new stuff, plans, and oh, look what I found. I had forgotten about this. First, though, I'm going to revisit my Die Freitag pattern by Wendy Petras from the Heart Needle Arts here in Idaho Falls, my fellow designer here in Idaho Falls. She came over. She brought me a lovely orchid as a housewarming gift, but she brought her the silks that she stitched the model in, and she used Gloriana silks so that I could pick what I had from Vicky's silks to better match. If you remember when I showed this before, I was not happy with how Christmassy this combination was looking. And it was hard to tell in the pictures. The model picture is a little lighter. You can't really see, of course, the little one with the antique real well. So Wendy brought over, the model is actually down at the attic because this, I'm so thrilled for Wendy. Die Freitag is the sampler of the month at the attic. For those of you that are familiar with that, you know that or that aren't familiar with that, you know, every month, the attic picks a different sampler to highlight, and if you buy the material for that sampler, they give a discount, and I don't want to say what discount it is because I don't remember off the top of my head. 10, 15%, something like that. And Wendy's Die Freitag is the sampler of the month, this month for October, at the attic. And her products were highlighted in, she had a trunk share there that she took with her when she went to summer school. And so they have highlighted her products in her designs in this month's newsletter. So I was just tickled to see that. So anyway, she came over, brought her Gloriana silks, and we sat down and compared what I had with what she had and picked out new ones for some of them. The gold in here is definitely lighter. This is a gold color in here. And then this green that I picked, it's much more of an evergreen that I picked, and what she has is more of an olive green. So those two alone, I think, will help to really change the look of that. I think I might have changed one or two other ones, but I don't think I've stitched with them yet. So anyways, thank you, Wendy. I appreciate your time and your visit. And the orchid, the buds on it have opened up. It's so pretty. Okay, before I get into plans, I'm going to go to, oh, look what I found, and give you my thoughts on it. So again, for any of you who have been around here for a while, and I'm talking a while, I think this was from Mania 2018. I had started this. This is Lizzie Kate's Things Unseen Mystery Sampler. Such a pretty, pretty, pretty design. And I got quite a bit done. I got this whole section done. And it wasn't till I got that whole section done. Where is that thing? Hold on. That I realized yeah, I'm not going to fit the rest of the sampler on this, am I? Not by a long shot. I think what happened is, I believe that they gave the stitch count for each individual pattern, each individual piece of the pattern, and then maybe on the third part, which is the completed one, they gave all of them. They probably gave the whole stitch count on all three of them, and I just looked at the one for just that first part. And that's what I stitched. Now, way back when, I was thinking, I got a lot of great recommendations for how to handle this back when I realized that. And I was thinking I was going to sew additional pieces on and just move on from there. But looking at the pattern, you know, there are some designers that do sew fabric together for their designs, but they have complete designs on each of the different pieces of fabric and it's sewn down in the middle. This one, I'd have stitches crossing where I'd have to sew. And I decided, just don't do that to yourself, Jan. Why do that to yourself? Now, one of you had the brilliant idea of just cutting out that pretty vase with the hearts next to it and making that into a pillow and then starting over. And when I pulled this out again the other day, I was like, you know something? That is what I'm going to do. So that's the reason I have this out. I am going to go ahead and do that sooner rather than later, and maybe start this again this coming year, because it's just so pretty. It's just such a gorgeous design. I'll make sure things are not getting too far out. So anyways, there's that. I found an awful lot of other things too, but that's the one that stood out that I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, future plans. I mentioned this before. I haven't done anything with it. I still would like to start Long and Winding Road by Blackbird Designs. Excuse me, here in the not too distant future. It will probably have to wait until Seasons in Lace Fall is done. But this is still on my radar. I haven't pulled anything for it yet. Whoops, sorry. Other plans. Christmas. So, as I was putting away, my patterns, so I have these ones in my stand. I actually have a second stand that is sitting right here next to me helping to hold things. And I also have in this cabinet back here, this right here, the bottom drawer is a file cabinet, is a file drawer for files. And so I have patterns in there that I had to put away because they were in a bin in storage. Anyways, as I was going through that, I was rediscovering a bunch of Christmas patterns. And so I kind of have piled in here this oh so pretty Christmas bag that I got that I almost spilled over. I've piled in here some tentative plans of things to do for Christmas or to work on in December. So first and foremost, and this is just so squished in here, is this is the First Day of Christmas by Liz Matthews. I'm working on a 25 count even weave over 1. So I would really like to get this done this year. It deserves to be out and displayed and not squished into a bag. I am using, I don't think I'm using any of the called for. I think this is all just stuff from my stash that I'm using. So there's that one. I don't really remember when I started any of these, so some days it's just not worth it. I debated whether I should do this today, but I'm doing it. So forgive the fumbles, forgive the words that I don't have. It's been a little hectic today. I don't remember when I started most of these, so I don't have much done on this one either, but oh, it's so pretty. Heartstring Samplery, Hibernation Day. Another one that I got from, or I was enabled by Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher. And I just have, this might have been another Mania start. In fact, it probably was. I just have the very top of that done. And again, I believe I'm using mostly the not called for, just stuff from my stash that worked. I don't expect I'll get this done, but I would like to make some progress on this. And this is, I'm going to say this is a 32 count fabric, possibly. Don't hold me to that. Okay. I got this one off of Stash Unloading at some point in the last month or so, last couple of months, after we learned that we were moving to Idaho. And this seemed like a totally appropriate one for me to have hanging here somewhere. Hindsight Winter Wonderland. So I'd like to get started on that one. This one in my Gilmore Girls bag from Forbidden Fiber Company is the Sparkle Star thingy. I don't remember the name of it. This is a digital pattern, so I don't have the pattern right here to show you. But this is one of the ones that's a collaboration a collaboration between Shannon Christine Designs and Northern Needleworks. Oh my God, this is what happens when you don't have your brain together. Anyways, I got a good chunk of it done. I am now on all these specialty stitches. Oh, I think I remember what was going on. I don't know whether I did that one right or not. Something tells me I didn't. Something also tells me that I was going to practice it and do a video of it. So that is in my future in December and in your future in December. And at that point, I will have the correct name and the correct designers as well, I promise. This one I am going to finish this year. Home for Christmas by Plum Street Samplers. This is so pretty. I love this. I think I got this as a kit off of Stash Unloading. I'm pretty sure somebody was getting rid of it. And I don't have a whole lot to do. This is one of Dying to Stitch's club quilt or club kits. I don't have a whole lot left to do, but the borders do take a lot of concentrated stitching. So that's what I have so far. At least the house is done. Yeah, the house is done by the looks of it. So anyways, I'm determined to get this one done this year. Speaking of finishes and GSD 2021, that's kind of fallen by the wayside. So Louise and Henry that I finished, that was a 2018 Mania start. I didn't even have that listed in my Xstitch app as a start. So I got to put it in as a start and then finish it. It's the little things in life. Next up, Glitter House Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. So I've done the one. I don't have it finished yet. It's actually, I think, laying back there. But I'd like to get another one done. Actually, I'd love to get them all done soon because now I have a mantle to display them on. I'm going to finish them as like some kind of stand-up things. I'm doing them all separate. I'd like to get that finished soon. Okay. This is another one I got off of Stash Unloading. A lot of people show this to sell, and every time I see it, I think, oh my God, that is so cute. I already have it. I'd like to get this done this year. And of course, this isn't a whole lot of stitching, except for that Santa. So, yeah. The Santa's beard uses that Whisper, the fuzzy white stuff, which I have a ton of from something. So, I'd like to get that done this year. I don't think it was last year, maybe the year before. I did this. This is the Dimensions kit, right? Dimensions with all these ornaments. I did that one. I would like to get another one of those done this year. Those are so cute. This is another one I'd like to start. I'm sure the picture does not do this justice at all, but I think this is just a beautiful little pattern. So, hope to get that at least started. These two are kind of at the bottom of the pile. If I get to them, fine. If I don't, fine. Comfort and Joy. This is another one I got off of Stash Unloading by Abby Rose. Abby Rose Designs. Like to at least get that started. And then this one, Little by Little, is another one I got. I don't like the fabric of that at all. That yellowish gold fabric for that just does nothing for me. But I think that's a really pretty and somewhat simple design. So, like I said, those last two are at the bottom of the stack. So if I get to them, fine. If not, we will put them aside for next year. Okay, I am going to go down there and get my last stack. Be right back. Okay, so this is the, what goodies did I get recently? This may not be all of them, but this is what I actually made a pile of. So Wendy also brought me one of her new designs, Quaker Bells. That is going to be another. I don't think I'll wait for Christmas to start it. Now, she handed this to me. I had seen her post about it on Instagram, and just, I think it's so pretty. She has a whole series of Quaker ones for the different holidays, and I just love them. So she brought this to me, and of course I love that carol. And when she gave it to me, she said, you can just use whatever your favorite Christmas colors are. So she has this charted in Gloriana and Classic Colorworks and DMC. But I may change to a different Christmas colorway. I don't know yet. I was in a store here, at a home decor store, and they had their Christmas stuff out. And they had like a more rustic, I want to say greens and whites and maybe silvers, or greens and whites and browns. I don't remember, but it struck me as just being very peaceful, and just a really peaceful feel to Christmas. So I'm going to be starting that one soon too. I don't know what colors yet. Thank you, Wendy. Pitch Black is the next set of fine floss from Fat Quarter Shop. So this is the Mouse Gray range, a black and white range. Oh, they actually have different ones in this one. A couple burnt umbers and a couple black and white range. So, I don't know whether you can tell, these three are more brown and these two are definitely black. So this was the September, I believe. October. No, I'm sorry. This is October. Black for Halloween, Jan. Duh. So this is October. November is oranges. And I was going to possibly use some of those on my Seasons of Lace Fall, but as I was pulling colors and looking at the pictures I have for November, I don't have them, the actual silks yet. But no, I don't think I'm going to go into orange. I wanted to keep it kind of that goldy color. So anyways, that's that. I don't know if that's going to continue on into next year, like if they'll, because that's by all means not the full range of NPI. So again, it's a great club to get, to kind of build up your NPI stash. Without kind of breaking the bank every month, you know, just to slowly build up your NPI stash. I got a copy of the Philanthropic Pumpkin from Hands On Design and Lady Dot Creates. I was really, really hoping that I'd be able to get into this and stitch it and put it together sometime this month, but I don't know what I was thinking. So anyways, Darling Maria is the one that was able to snag this for me. I tried to get one myself and couldn't, and she had a friend who got several, so she was able to get one for me. Thank you, Maria. I don't believe I showed you this. I don't think it had come yet. I got some Seraphim Antique Lace fabric, a fat quarter shop from possibly Hobby House Needleworks. No, it's not fully serged, so it's not from them. Country Sampler. Did I show you the sampler roll? Did I show you this already? I don't remember. But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous colorway. It actually has a little bit of like pink in it or something. Anyways, that is 40 count. So I wanted to have some of that in stock. In stock. Some of you have said it's like I have a store, right? This is, yeah, this is part of the order from, I just said it, Country Sampler. So I got, no, it's not. This is an order from 123 Stitch. I decided once we closed on here, I wanted to have more designs that celebrated home. So this is one of them, La Di Da's Bless Our Home. And this is the other one, With You I'm Home by Jeanette Douglas. And like I said, I feel like I should have a Jeanette Douglas on the needles all the time. And so this is going to get started fairly soon. I will probably end up getting all of these charts because I had trouble picking which one. She has a whole series that are home themed, right? This is number 3. I had trouble picking which one I wanted because I was originally thinking I'd just get one, but I had trouble picking, so I may eventually get all of them. But that's what I'll start with. With You I'm Home. Because me and Mike were like this. So that and that. Okay, you're going to go rolling off there. I got this off of Stash Unload just this week. Sisters and Best Friends. Autumn Sampler. Or no, Spring Sampler. I got this because I got the other 3 from Maria. I think she gave me a bunch of things to give away, and I liked the 3 of these, but she didn't have spring, so I got spring. So now I have all of those to do at some point. And then last but not least, well, no, next to last but not least, another project bag. This is another one of Lisa Smith's project bags. I get so excited whenever she starts posting her project bags. Inside, garden utensils. So this is a garden themed one. She actually was posting this while we were at the trailing of the sheep, posting her bags while we were standing waiting for the sheep to come by. And so I made a quick Etsy purchase, or Instagram purchase, I mean. So I love her bags. I also need to get, there's Stitch Folk, there's Buckleberry quilts, there's all these project bags out there that I can't wait to get one, but I have to wait till my piggy bank gets reloaded. The other thing I got, and this is from the website, The French Needle. They are located in Maryland, but the owner spends a majority of her time in France. And so this is Veronique Egengère. I don't know whether I said that right. Hopefully it's close. This is her new book. It is Montaigne au fil des saisons, which I think is something about seasons in the mountains. So it's all kind of mountain-themed designs. I love her designs. I will link, I'll try to remember to link her the website, The French Needle, below. If I don't, just, ping on me. Say, hey, you said you were going to link that and you didn't, and I will do it because obviously my brain isn't really all here today. this? Isn't that sweet? That totally makes me think of the book Heidi. Do you remember the story Heidi? I read that over and over when I was a kid. I think that is so sweet. So anyways, that is my goodies. Now, that book, though, reminds me to show this for Cheryl Taylor. Cheryl, is this the book you meant? Cheryl asked me a question when we were moving. I think we were still in the RV. Probably we had gotten, yeah, I think it was after my video that I did in the RV. And I was like, Cheryl, I have no idea. I don't have that, you know, that's in storage. And she's like, oh my God, I totally forgot. So anyway, Cheryl, I think this is the book you mean. If not, let me know and I will pull out the other ones that I have and we can figure it out. Okay. I think that is everything I wanted to show you. So I am going to get up and show you what I've come up with storage and hopefully give you some good ideas. So stay tuned. First, let me say, I didn't end that very well. Guys, I am so sorry for this mess of a video and for this mess of a hair. Oh. If you're staying with me, stay tuned. If you're heading out now, thank you for staying with me this long through this insanity. Thank you for being here. I totally appreciate you putting up with all of my insanity. I really hope things are going to calm down soon. It's not that they haven't calmed down, but today was just a day of quite a bit of stress trying to get the sewing box sampler and all the pieces that go with it together and uploaded. I debated waiting till tomorrow, but I was kind of in this mode, so I wanted to get this video done too. So I appreciate you being here. I don't have my angel cards. I've seen them since we moved in. I don't remember where we put them, where I put them. So I'm sorry for today. There will be no angel card. Know that I love you. And I'll talk to you soon. And for those of you that are sticking around, hold on one second. Okay, so addendum number 2, because there was some news I wanted to share with you before I switch over to showing you my organization things. And I'm looking at my notes here. Okay, so first of all, something to start putting on your radar. The Fat Quarter Shop Charity Stitch Along and Quilt Along will be starting in February. This year, it is called Heartfelt. So you should start seeing things about it from Fat Quarter Shop pretty darn soon. So keep that on your radar. February 4th, I believe. Yes, is the starting date for that Stitch Along and Quilt Along. And again, that's the charity program that they do every year for Make-A-Wish South and Central Texas. All right. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. Deb Yoakum has put together, or is in the process of putting together, some retreats. Her first one is going to be in Virginia next fall. And I believe the other one is in summer 2023 in Kansas City. She has created a Facebook page for that. I will link, page or group, I'm not sure which. I will link that below though. So if you're interested in hearing about those retreats, you can jump on that Facebook group. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to say was the holiday gift extravaganza. I have started to get goodies for that. I totally appreciate those of you who have already sent me some things, who have already promised me some things. I am open for more. Again, if you have a business you would like me to promote, whether you make project bags, whether you make, little notions for stitchers, anything like that, I would be happy to showcase your business and give one away. So I think now that's all that I had for this section of the video. Stay tuned. All right, kids. So first and foremost, my magazine racks. I had shown one of these when I first got it I think I posted on Instagram. And then I got a second one because it works so well. Now, it is at this point not in any sort of order. I am not really sure yet what order I want it to be in. I may use one of them for things I have kitted or things that I have kits of, such as, you know, this type of thing, dimensions, you know, anything that I actually have a kit for may go in one, or anything that I have kitted or that I want to start soon. Like all of those that I showed you, I will probably put in one. And then the other one, I need to get my designers organized, see what I have, and maybe keep like some of them out here, and then the rest will go in that bottom drawer of that cabinet. But anyways, continuing my theme of, yes, I have a store's worth of stuff. That's what we have here. Linen, I had mentioned, again, I had posted on Instagram that I was thinking about hanging my linen, and a lot of you people do this and have had no problem with it. Some of you mentioned that some things got distorted depending on how long you have it, of course, hanging. But for the most part, most of you had no problem. Several of you mentioned covering it with garment bags or some kind of bag to protect it from dust. I think what I would do is find, I'm trying to get away from plastic as much as possible. Having lived in the RV, most of my things were in plastic bins, and I want to ditch the plastic as much as possible. So what I would do is see if I can find some pillowcases at thrift stores and cut a hole for the hanger in the end of the pillowcase, and then use that to drape over. So what I have now is this, I believe, is 36 count, these racks here, kind of separated by color and count. I have a rack that is 40 count, or a hanger, I guess. And then another one, this one, so this is colors in 40, and then this is neutrals in 40, and then getting back into here, we're getting into the 32 count. I still have a couple piles on the floor that I have to organize yet, but so far, I think this is going to work well. Next up, we have this cube shelf thing. That's the official name of it. And this is where my whips are. All of my project bags with my whips that I am not currently working on. The whips that I am currently working on are, of course, upstairs next to my stitching chair. And I have these somewhat separated in styles of projects. The two big bags down there are full coverage. They're too big to fit someplace. Up here we have projects that are still large. I might have a couple full coverage, like the Carolyn Manning, they're in here somewhere. They don't want to come to light. Full coverage shooting star designs. There's several of those in there. But these are like where Death by Cross Stitch and Pandemic and Narnia and Midnight in a Garden, you know, all those bigger projects. Those are in the first shelf. The second shelf is my samplers. The third shelf is, floral and seasonal, I think. And then down on the bottom shelf is Christmas and Thanksgiving, I believe. I don't think I have any other seasonal things there because I don't stitch them, I think. I have several of my projects rolled up in one of these acid-free boxes. Those are the projects that have, that do not have paper patterns, that are digital patterns, so I don't actually have a project bag set aside for them. They were just kind of separate in the bin. So those are now rolled up, stored up in the acid-free box. And then this mess right here is, I think I want to make sure and work on that next year. One thing that I know is in there is Patchwork by Jan Houtman. I would love to get that done. This is the sheep one. I'm not going to go through them, but there's certain ones that I pulled out. I was like, yep, I'm going to set those out because I want to make sure I get to them next year. There's some shelves over here on the side that aren't really in any sort of order at this point, just kind of stuff is put there. This has gotten a lot of attention. So this is my DMC collection. This is a swing display rack, such as you would see in a store, holding jewelry perhaps, or Lord knows what else. It holds my DMC. It is in numerical order. Several of you had questioned whether I was worried about, like, if I have to get something from this bag. Well, if I do not put the full bags of floss in my projects anymore, I pull out lengths and cut off lengths and put those on like a floss buddy or something like that. Floss rings, something like that. So that my master collection, and this is the whole DMC collection, so that my master collection stays together. So these bags are called thread tucks. They have the hole at the top to hang from, or a hole at the bottom if I wanted to hang from the bottom to have easier access. But I prefer not to have them hanging upside down. And then they do have this hole here where I can string the length from the skein out the hole so I can pull on it. You know, there are times it does get knotted and doesn't want to come, and at that point I will have to take it off. And yeah, that will be a pain, but it's not that many. You know, each one of these spindles has between 30 and 35 bags on them, so it's not like there's that many. I will be putting little tags on the front to tell me what numbers are on each peg. So I found that the little tags that came in, oh, this still has the twine on it. Let me find the one that doesn't have the twine. These came in the Al Forrest embroidery kit. I found that they are perfect to just put down and put there, and I can write the number on it. I don't have enough for all the spindles, I don't believe. But I'll find something else to work on the ones that I don't have enough for. But as an alternative, so we're going to go down here to the bottom rack and spin this around. Whoops. And this is so this is the end of the DMC here with the whites on the end. And then over here, I have my Mrs. Sadis. These are my silks. So as an alternative, if I do find taking these bags off of these spindles is a pain in the butt, an alternative would be to string a bunch on a ring. So I have my Mrs. Sadis, whoops, on the rings. And I also, the ones that I still have the full skeins for, I just hung those up like I do a skein of yarn in a yarn store. So, again, yeah, I may have to worry about dust on these, so we'll have to see how that works. But anyways, that would be an alternative. And I have these just kind of sorted in color groups on their separate rings. So that would work. I still have a full other rack down here. I do still have some of the Tux bags. The Tux bags are no longer being produced, though, and no longer being manufactured. They used to be sold at 123 Stitch. They haven't had them for a long time. They are distributed by Yarn Tree, and Yarn Tree doesn't have them either. So I have a stash left over that I am hoarding, that I'm hoping my NPI silks will go into, and I will be putting those on the bottom rack. Now let me climb up here. And last but not least, I'm going to clear off. This is my old jewelry armoire. I have had this for years and years and years. And I had always stored all of my other needlework threads down in here, just kind of lined up in the old floss away bags. And I will probably still, I haven't put them back in here. I took them out for shipping, but This has a lot of drawers in it that I can store stuff in, and I have found, oh, this makes me so happy, you have no idea. This is my Vicki Clayton hand-dyed fibers silks in my jewelry stand. It is just delicious. I love this. As you can see, I have plenty more room. Whoops, for more. Never pull the drawer out too far, Jan, or you will have little spools running all over the place. I have another drawer with those dividers for more of her silks. And then I have these big drawers on the bottom. Oh, this is the ring drawer. I could even put them in here, actually. Oh, but this just, I cannot tell you. I was putting this in here yesterday, and I was just so tickled with how pretty it looks. I know, it's the little things. All right, guys, that really is all that I have for you today. So with that, I will do one little sweep around my pretty little room. And I will end here and say I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.